I'm Shlomo Godsi from the Alshech Academy, and I wanted to uh, give thanks to the Alshech for allowing me to start a charity, the Alshech Academy, here in Tsfat some 4 years ago. And I thought, as I'm going to be leaving Tsfat in a few days, I wanted to just to share with you some reflections on some of the highlights that I've enjoyed here whilst I've been here the last 9 years or so. I want to say that firstly, uh, I became incredibly connected with the Alshech through a fascinating story. I used to be in the fashion business, and about 15 years ago, I went to America to buy some garments, and I finished my business, and I went to um, a, a, a shop, a bookshop there, a Jewish bookshop, and said, "Give me something that I can read on the Torah, explanation of the Torah." And they gave me a huge book volume of the Orach Chaim. I said, "I can't fit that into my suitcase. Give me something smaller." So they gave me a 3-volume book of the Alshech written by Rabbi Kaplan. And I said, "Yeah, that'll do." I took it, I put it in my briefcase, and I forgot all about it. A few years later on, I actually moved to Tzfat, and I got married here, second time, to my Kala. And before our first Shabbat, I said, I better read up something about the parasha so I can share something with my wife. And so I looked in my bookshelf, and there was the Alshech. I thought, oh, I haven't read this since I bought it many years ago. Let me try it. And I was flabbergasted by the depth, the um, light that was embedded in this translation. And and then a few weeks later on, somebody came to me and said, "Listen, we're starting a new minyan at the Alshech Shul. Would you come and help us make a minyan?" And I was very much attached to the nearby Shul Abu Av ever since I came to Tzfat. And I thought, do I really want to move from another to another synagogue? Well, I tried it. And then it occurred to me that I have this book of the Alshech, and this is one of the oldest synagogues in Tzfat. It's some nearly 500 years old, one of the longest surviving, and the one that has been in a continuous activity since then. And so I thought, wouldn't it be nice to, at the end of the shul, to study the Alshech in his holy Alsheich Synagogue? And that's what I did. And I told my wife at the time, I'm so into this translation, explanation. I'd love to do I would love to do a. Anyway, so for a year or so, I was studying this Alshech, and I had a dream one night. I woke up at 2 in the morning. I had a dream that I wasn't studying enough and that I should do something to accelerate that. And I couldn't sleep all night after that. I woke up in the morning, and then when I went to shul, I discovered that that night was Erev Pesach, and that was the Yortzeit of the Alshech. I thought, wow, was that a message for me to start something, some sort of learning with the Alshech? And and then I spoke to my wife, and she said, "Yeah, go ahead and do it." So we came up with this idea of the Alshech Academy, where we share the best quality English-speaking shiurim with the world. And I spoke to my dear friend Eliyahu Pereira, who was a well-known podcaster by then, and asked his advice on how to set that up. And he really helped me, and so did Shifra Henry, who and David Henry, who have a very big following on their podcast. And I set it up, and here we are, 4 years later with over 1,000 lessons free of charge for people to access all over the world. We have most of our viewers are based in the States and Europe and obviously Israel. And the demographics is quite interesting because in the younger age group between 20 and 50, say, it's predominantly men. And in the older grade age group between 50 and 70 is mainly women, which is amazing. And I'm really grateful and totally indebted to Hashem for allowing us to create this beautiful, holy project. We have 25 amazing teachers who share their knowledge and wisdom with us all. And very excitingly, we're about to start a Beit Midrash, a really high quality online Beit Midrash, which will be 1 hour of learning a day from 11 to 12. We have 2 days of learning the Alshech, which we picked the Lech Lecha as the main key parasha because we want to understand the essence of Avraham Avinu, who was the most powerful historical figure in the world. From him, half the world's religion are indebted to this man. So I wanted to really understand him and his connection with Hashem, so we can learn from it. So that's Parashat Lech Lecha, and we're going to start that twice a week. We're also going to start through, that's by the way, with our favorite teacher, with Alshech, Rav Hanan Be'er. And then we have Rav David Basha, who is really amazing, who's going to teach us Kabbalah, authentic Kabbalah. I've been asked from so many people, how do I learn Kabbalah? And we have experienced that, either it's too shallow and too commercial, or it's so deep and heavy that it would take you a PhD to understand it. And there seems to be very little in between. Of course, you have the Ashlag, who really perfected that to some extent. But what we've asked David Basha to do is to use the Zohar and the Leshem. The Leshem has an amazing introduction to Kabbalah that Rav Moshe Schatz once told me was the best way to learn Kabbalah. And so this is very exciting for us to be able to learn authentic Kabbalah for beginners, but people who have got a background in learning, who really want to understand that. So that's the other 2 days a week. And then the final 2 days a week is going to be one day Mussar, which is all about how to improve our characteristics and midot. And the other one is Halacha, because unless you know Halacha, you don't know how to behave in this world. And we came here to conclude our missions, and that will obviously include the mitzvot. So the 613 mitzvot. So we're going to learn that too. So that's a Beit Midrash program. Very excited about it, and I hope you all enroll on that. But I wanted to share with you a few highlights for me of my stay in Tsfat. Tsfat is a very special and spiritual place. It only has about 40,000 residents, but at its peak, even a few years ago before the war, we had over 1 million visitors a year. That's compared to about just over 1.5 million for Jerusalem. So why did so many people come to Tzfat? It's something that I often ask myself. What is it in Tzfat that they're looking there? People go to New York to see the Empire State Building. They go to Paris to see the Eiffel Tower. They go to London to see Big Ben. What do they come to Tzfat for? There's nothing here to see. It's an ancient village that in its old city, we don't have cars and it's just walkways, and it's just like how people used to live in the past. So what are people coming to see? And I came to the conclusion that they're actually coming to see a reflection of them. And the way I would explain it is like this. There's a saying that every part of the world is sourced from Israel. Israel has within it every part of the world that then we see elsewhere. So The Swiss Alps is well known for being the most beautiful Alpic scenery. And if you ever go to Swiss Alps, you see these beautiful mountains with a lake in it, and the water is so still that it's like a mirror, and it mirrors the mountain and sky above it. Similarly, when you come to Tzfat, there is this illusion of a mirror. But what does it mirror? It's actually mirroring your soul. So people come here to see and to connect with their soul. And they're able to do that because we don't have as many distractions as most other cities. You know, especially the fact that in the old city you can't take a car, you can only walk. So it gives you peace and tranquility and quietness. And that's what you need. That's a perfect criteria to connect with your soul. Because it's a very soft voice, your soul. And this is the best way to connect with it, is to come to Tzfat. So that's one of the reasons why people come to Tzfat, and that's what's special about Tzfat. The other thing that I wanted to share with you, something I heard from Rav Avshi Weingart this Shabbat in his drasha. He said that there are two kinds of people in the world. There are takers and receivers. I thought when he said takers, I thought the other one would be givers, but he says no. Giving is an exclusive condition of Hashem, of God. God is the ultimate giver, and He gives to everybody. We can only emulate Him in our giving, but the truth of the matter is every human being either takes or receives. What's the difference between somebody who takes and somebody who receives? So somebody who takes forces his will on the world in order to extract what he thinks he's entitled to. Somebody who's receiving is humbly accepting what Hashem has in store for him. And what are the criteria of a person who's a receiver compared to a giver? Well, we know that every human being has a limited shelf life. Please God till 120. But we know that time is running out for, each day we come closer to that. So we're impatient. That's a characteristic of a taker. He's impatient. He wants it. He wants it now. Instant gratification. What's the characteristic of a receiver? It's patience. Saying, I know that I'm going to receive whatever Hashem wants me to receive when I'm due to receive it. So I'm going to be patient. And that allows me to express my bitachon, my emunah and bitachon in Hashem, to provide me what I need every day. As we say in the bracha in the morning, she'asali kol tzarchi, that He will give me everything I need. How can you say a bracha thanking God for something that will happen in the future? It's not thanking for something that He's already given me. We're thanking God for something that He's going to give me. That's in the future. How can you do that? You can't guarantee that He's going to give you. But that's the beauty of the bracha. The bracha says, I believe 100% Hashem, that you are going to give me what I need when I need it, and not have to grab it. And that's what I love about Tzfat. People say that it's a very airy city, that people aren't sort of grounded here. But it's not so much that, it's that they are patient and they are willing to wait for Hashem to give it to them rather than to grab it. The other thing I wanted to share with you is something I learned from one of our teachers, Judah Lazarus. And he said something quite interesting to me one wedding. He said, in Tzfat, we're already living the times of Mashiach. This was before you heard from so many big rabbis that were in the time of Mashiach. This is many, many years ago. And I thought to myself, how is that possible? How can a certain people live in a state of Mashiach when the rest of the world isn't there yet? And then it got me thinking about the following thing. If I was to ask you a question, what percentage of humanity, or what percentage of Jewish people in the world? We know there's only 15 million or so Jewish people. What percentage of that 15 million have to live in Mashiach times in order to make it truly a Mashiach time for everybody? And I came to this conclusion. Look at the Torah. How many people did it take to persuade Bnei Israel to build a golden calf, the Chet HaEgel, one of our biggest downfalls? The Torah tells us that there were some 3,000 people, and they were mainly Erev Rav, who wanted to pursue this direction of building a Chet HaEgel. And unfortunately, Bnei Israel was persuaded to go along with them. So if you look at the percentage of 3,000 to 600,000 men, because that's how many men there were, and work out the percentage, you'll see that it's more or less the percentage of Jews there are in the world, about 5% or thereabouts. So I came to the conclusion that you only need 5% or 5% of the population, which is a very small number of the population of Jewish people in the world, to really believe that they're living Mashiach time, for the whole of Judaism to be considered as living in Mashiach time. That's my own take. Take it or leave it, but it's a wonderful idea that I downloaded here in Tsfat. So I wanted just to also to thank the Rav of the Kehila, Rav Hanania, who has been a keen supporter of the Alshech Academy ever since it started. I wanted to also thank Moshe Ross, who's really going to handle all the videoing and broadcasting of all our teachers whilst I'm away. And to thank Stephen Safek, who is spearheading our new look and website and broadcasting our classes all over the world on 10 different platforms, and creating an amazing community, online community called the Oasis. This gives you a beautiful opportunity to connect with other like-minded Jews and all over the world, and to form a community online with similar ideas and aspirations. The main heart of it will be our learning. So I hope you'll engage with that, and I hope you connect with that. I wanted to thank all our donors who have supported us. Most of them want to be anonymous, and I respect that, but I want you to know that I truly appreciate each one and every one of you, in whatever you donated, because we couldn't have established what we did without those donations. So I'm truly grateful for that. And just to say, keep tuning in. We will continue to do amazing things. Our next project is to create mini short films about our historic ancestors, like the Alshech, like the Yosef Karo, and like Chaim Vital, or like the Ari, and bring to life many of those characters in the same way that we're bringing to life the Torah of the Alshech. We actually want to bring to life the characteristics behind them. So I look forward to that as well. And just connect with us. Let us know what you would like us to do. We're always looking to learn and improve, and to perfect ourselves better and better. At the end of the day, we're doing this for you guys. And so we hope you enjoy it. Thank you for all your support, and sending you blessings from Tsfat. May you all be blessed to come and visit here and have a peek view into your own soul. God bless you. Shabbat Shalom.